What's yours?
On the chat with UK and friends.
I'm not asking what I bring to the table. I'm a whole damn table.
All laugh, all me, all shake, all like that you said.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Chat with UK. Today I'm so excited because we're joined by two new guest co-hosts.
Whoa.
Hey! Now before we get to introducing them, I'm going to have my other co-hosts introduce themselves.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you know.
Am I right?
Alright, you have me. It only sits on a table. You could call me Ivy because everybody calls me Ivy.
Okay.
Well, don't forget, we're adding the baddie to it too.
Alright.
Alright.
And to my left.
Okay, so as you can see, I got this. Anyways, oh my goodness, I wonder why Shaggy, all I did I just said, but just call me Shaggy.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Stop it.
Introduce your entire
No, I did a better job though. But she's just like in the breaking part. It's just like, hey, I'm sorry.
Well, as always, I'm your host, UK. Now, we have. I'm gonna have him introduce himself first.
Hi, I'm Ephraim Oluwasanya. Nice to meet you. Just call me Ephraim.
Mr. Him.
I'm also him.
Oh,
What
this said, ew,
are you gonna give us? Like,
you know
you gotta give us
backstory?
something sweet.
You
Like,
want a backstory?
yeah, just give us
When
something.
he was a
Origin.
young boy.
So, born and raised in Nigeria. Grew up, came here in 2015. Went to school, you know the vibes, in college right now.
Okay.
At Texas State.
Alright.
Hopefully in 2024, I'll be graduating with a degree in industrial engineering.
Oh, my name.
We'll get the bag.
Okay.
You know.
That's what's up.
Yes.
But last but not the least,
Mhm.
that's right.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's a hot girl summer.
Oh my God.
You already know it's the one and only Crystal Bell. I'm also Nigerian born, but H sound great.
Oh,
okay.
And you know we have to spice up the chat.
Yeah, she's the sizzling right here. We're gonna argue that question.
Well, that being said, it's really great to have you two here on set because I know it's going to be a vibe. Plus, our conversation today is one that I believe is super important. Now, our conversation today is peer pressure. Ooh, she's already like taking a deep breath.
So I'm pressuring you to like look like me. It's okay. I'm sorry.
We almost started.
Oh, honey, it's okay. I'm sorry. I'll be myself. I'll be sorry.
It's the breeze that's making me.
I know, right?
He's so vain. He's really vain.
Oh, Lord.
Like, I do not even want to tell you what he did yesterday.
It's okay. I did a photo shoot. It's not a big deal.
He did a photo shoot with 7 outfits.
It was just 6. It was 6.
Oh, 6?
Yeah.
Still.
I'm trying to get a photo shoot done.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it, but it's okay.
Like you said, just to get the brand.
Well, before we get carried away from the actual topic, so I'm gonna bring it back in.
Okay.
But we were talking about peer pressure. So before we start, as anyone here, maybe directly or indirectly being affected by, or actually been pressured by your peers?
I've definitely had a lot of experiences with peer pressure. Like, it's all around you. Like, people you call your friends, people you don't call your friends, your parents, just like society in general. Like, I think like social media is one of the biggest things with like peer pressures kids today, because like you see something, you like it, or they make you think you should like it, or you do or not, Like it influences your taste in music, what you do, how you do it, like it's how they dress exactly, hair, things like that. Like because the thing with peer pressure is everybody think like when they think peer pressure, it's like, oh, bad. Peer pressure is good. You know, like there's positive sides to it, there's negative sides to it.
Yeah.
I think when like peer pressure is to an extent mostly negative.
Right.
But yeah, so I can say about it.
Have you ever experienced?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yes and no. So I think my earliest, like, going against the grain is just more of a pressure, but I did the opposite. So if you notice, my voice is big. It's just, but.
Everybody got your
But anyway, I would say, like in high school, I think my closest experience was everyone in the class. So you had an exam where everyone can actually cheat. Yeah, like everyone is cooperating. Oh, we're gonna all cheat and all that. And so I think I made a decision that I was gonna do that. And so everyone was just like, there and there and there. So I think that's my not earliest experience of pressure, but it's like my most profound part when it comes to like peer pressure, because everyone around you, even the smartest student in the class and the dumbest student, you're all collaborating to cheat in this exam, and even the lecturers are actually letting them. You have people you have classes of 200 people, and you have A to Z, they're all arranged, and then you have people from Z coming out to A. That's how bad it was. So I think that was my early experience of peer pressure, but yeah, I think that's probably going to be my answer to it.
Yeah. You have any experience?
I can't remember like my earliest experience with peer pressure, but I think like personally, I'm very like quiet, I'm very shy, like I'm very reserved. Let me use that word. So like I feel like sometimes, let's say if I'm like in a social setting, I might feel pressure to, in other words, be somebody that I'm not to fit that social setting. And it's just like, like if people like me or people are gonna gravitate to me, or come up and talk to me, it's gonna be because they see me or they like me for who I am, and not because I have to pretend to be like, oh, energetic, or oh, I'm hype, or oh, I'm the life of the party. Like I can be the life of the party. Don't get me wrong, I can be, but it's just like I said, like I'm more so reserved, and if I could be reserved and like still be able to be comfortable, then that's a vibe. But yeah, definitely like if I would say peer pressure, it does come from having to be somebody that I'm not in social settings.
I think one thing to also point out that I'm learning now, while growing up, how do I put it? Peer pressure can be direct and indirect. So for me, while growing up, I don't necessarily think they knew that I was thinking that. Because I was thinking that this person is judging me, this person is judging me, this person is judging me, so I need to start acting accordingly to fit what I thought in my head was what they wanted. And so I started to dictate my life based on what everybody else's perception in my head was, rather than having a mind or a perception of my own. And that was so profound for me, because it was like it changed a whole lot of things. Like I think probably 25 down upwards was when I can actually say I started living my life for me. I started to figure out who I am, because I would say I didn't even know who I was, but who I was based on the perception that I thought was done by everybody else.
So everyone is, in a way, thinking, this is what I should be, this is what I should, as opposed to actually being the true self.
Yeah.
Like in high school, because that was when I barely came here. So freshman year, I was trying to fit in and whatnot. So I thought, for people to, want to be your friends, you had to show a little more skin. So I would wear, regular clothes at home. And then when I got to school, it was a switch up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and one time my mom found out, and, I appreciated that she wasn't, the typical African mom. My mom's not a typical African mom. I'll just put it out there. She actually sat me down and talked to me like, you actually don't have to show your skin, like, because the skin you're showing is attracting the wrong people. instead of attracting the right people. So it was just, that was something I learned, you know, a lot. That was a good example of peer pressure that I experienced. There's a whole lot more, but that was the one that I could really remember, and it spoke to me a lot. So yeah.
And it's good that it had a good outcome rather than like you didn't listen to your mom, you decided to rebel. It's like, even though your mom didn't overreact, you know, you could have taken that and been like, mom doesn't know anything. Like people at school, like they checking me out, like they looking at me, so my mom doesn't know anything. So
and the funny thing is, even with all that, you know, switching up or wearing a crop top, the people that I felt were the people I wanted to attract still didn't come to me, still didn't show me no attention. So it was when I started, you know, being me, doing me, it was the right people who I'm still friends with today that actually, you know, came to mind, that saw me. I put that there. So yeah.
But I think like with peer pressure, it's like if you do allow it to get to you to that extent that you didn't let it get to you, you would have attracted those people.
Yeah.
Because like,
Eventually, yeah.
I've seen it happen so many times, so many times, and like even like negative peer pressure has had like positive effects. Like, all right, I'm gonna tell you a real quick embarrassing story. So this was shortly after we came here. In middle school, I had these raggedy shoes on. I never cared. Like if someone's laughing at me, okay, cool, it is what it is. Never really cared about myself. Just like I'm going to class, I'm doing this, doing that. African kid, get the good grades. I'm walking in the hallway, and some kid just randomly walks close to me, falls, and I'm like, oh, did bro die? What's happening? So I'm like trying to like look. He was like, he like wakes up, and y'all can remember this from years ago. He goes, what are those? And he just points at my shoes, and I kid you not, the entire hallway stopped.
Oh.
And everybody looked at me, started dying laughing. Stop.
Wait, he fainted because of your shoe?
Yeah, so
Middle school?
Yeah. No, it was
Kids are.
I'm never gonna forget that day. It's gonna live in my mind. But I remember getting back home and I was like, I can never wear these shoes again. Yeah. And so I think it was like a week after I got like $100, I went out to like a store. I bought like some $85 shoes. I've never spent that much money on shoes. Like now looking back, it's like, oh, that's nothing. But like back then, it was like, oh my God, I'm spending $85 on shoes. And there were some dark blue Roshis. I remember when I wore them to school the next day, people were complimenting me. Yeah, you feel good. And so with things like that, that's when like peer pressure can be good. Like even though that was like horrible, like scarred me for life.
I don't think we'll see the good anymore.
No, because like from them, I started want to care about my appearance more. It's like I wouldn't be like where I'm at today with like if I still have that mentality. I don't care.
Yeah, I think that's a really good because shoes. Sure, I was in boarding school, so shoes were very important. They would do a test where you throw your shoe in the air, if it lands without like the bottom, and it lands on the side, everyone thinks you wear it fake. So everybody it's just like the shoes, and then you can tell people also because I'm in boarding school, you can tell people they're rich from people who are poor by what they bring. Provisions. So I've been bringing cornflakes and like Gary, and that's Gary just like your food. And then you see these kids bringing like Rice Krispies, got milk, pig milk. And then you're like, and then it's just like, that way, that's also another way of, because then people can distinguish themselves. So if you're the set of people where your parents can afford to get that for you, you already find yourself into that group and then you start feeling bad. And you just have to find another way to make things work for you. So I think it has its good parts, but mostly it has negative parts. And I think it's also because everyone's trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Everyone's really knowing where to fit in.
Right.
And the good part is like when you find the right crowd, the pressure you get from it, like I'll always talk about the youth from my church, always and forever. So like before I joined that church, of course I knew God and stuff like that, but I knew that immediately I joined that church, like my relationship with God changed a whole lot. It made me want to be closer and have a more deep and personal relationship with God. That's just following the right crowd, getting the right attention. That was good peer pressure. good peer pressure from that. Most definitely. So
Can we talk about expectation on expectation? What I mean when I'm talking about that, I mean like let's say for example, I'm gonna use like the high school system, the American high school system. You know, you have the gigs, you have the
Cheerleaders,
That's something I think that's changed from over time. 'Cause like when I was in high school, yeah, you have those separate groups, but like they're also like intermingled. Especially now that I'm in college, it's like yeah, you'll see like the athletes and all that, but like athletes are also geeks. Like I'll spend like 15 minutes talking to one of my friends about anime, and then we'll go play on the football team. Like it's stuff like that. Like,
I don't think it's like that because your mentality has changed.
yeah,
In high school, you're teenagers.
yes. I was about to say that.
And then everyone just be like, I can deal with this person, I can deal. But after high school, now you know that it's really not a big deal.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it changed.
You just reminded me of something. In high school, I wanted to be prom queen so bad. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be prom queen, blah, blah, blah. And then my cousin told me something. You're stressing about something that after graduation, nobody's gonna remember who was prom queen.
right.
You spent a whole lot of money. Because I was gonna make, them little baskets. Oh yeah, vote me for prom queen, vote me for prom queen. You spent all that money and it's not your money. And then after graduation, after that prom night, nobody remembers who was prom queen or prom king. So it's like college is like when life actually hits you and you really don't care about. In college, who cares about what shoes you're wearing? You show up in class in flip-flops. Maybe we're going to class together. It really doesn't matter. It's like high school where it's like all the petty stuff stops and it's like focused on and stuff like that. But yeah, college, nobody really cares.
I guess the point I was trying to make with that scenario was, let's say take for example cheerleader, right? And she has to put up this front as the mean girl and stuff. But in actuality, she's actually putting on that front because she feels like if she doesn't, then they're gonna turn against her, and then she will become part of the unpopular kids. And so you as one of the unpopular kids, you're looking at her, this cheerleader, like, wow, goals. I want to be like her. But to her, she's like, I wish I wasn't. Exactly. So you have the expectation on top of another expectation of another expectation, and then you don't even know what this person is thinking, and then you're thinking something else and having a different perception, and that's how we begin to fall into this whole pattern of just mess, pretty much.
Just before I think one of the things that really shocked me is I look at my high school friends that used to be the eight. I was like, why did I think this person was attractive? Why did I think this person was like, eight? I was like, no. It's like, and now it's just like, really? That was the big deal in high school.
Like you said, high school is a different mindset, and college, like that beats you. But I guess we actually brought up some really interesting discussion points. But we truly want to hear what you have to say in the comment section, as always. Like, it doesn't stop here. Like, we want to make sure that you are also thinking about how you can change things in your own life and everyone around you. And that. So, comment section, let us know. Keep talking, keep pointing it out, and just subscribe, like, share, turn on post notifications.
Take to the space every time.
Yeah, you can see the baddie all the time. And you can see the baby master himself.
I was about to say everything, but you know.
Okay, go ahead.
But we're so thankful to have Ephraim and Christabel here as our guest co-host. And hopefully we get to see more of them. So don't touch that down. Keep looking out for the chat with UK and
Friends.
Bye, y'all.